This is the most profitable food truck idea you've never heard of.
As soon as I seen the numbers, I quit my job and I was all in. The traditional food truck model is broken. We're gonna do $1,000 in the next 3 hours.
What makes these guys so different?
Most food trucks, they take several hours to get everything prepped. We eliminate all that and more. You have to see the profit margins for yourself to believe it.
How much do you need to start? And how can anyone succeed with this model?
If you're sitting waiting around for customers, you're doing it wrong. I have spent over $750,000 and over 2 decades developing this.
And here's how one conversation led to one of the most genius food truck ideas ever. Awesome, Charles. Before we dive into everything, can you tell us more about Smart Drinks? What makes Smart Drinks so special?
One of the reasons we came up with this concept because we're into the health industry and we want everything to be natural. We use real fruit. We don't use a bunch of powders and syrups like our competitors do. We have gourmet coffees. We also have hot teas and iced teas. So everything we do, we make it fresh right there in the moment when they place the order.
So how many vans do you guys have? Where do you guys primarily park at? Would love to hear that.
Okay, we have 9 vans at this current time. You know, we go where the customers are at. So a lot of people say, well, you're in the smoothie business and the coffee business and tea business. No, we're in the convenience business because we come to our customers and as soon as we finish selling, we start up the vehicle and we go to our next stop. We designed routes, you know, we plan what we're gonna do so we know exactly how much money we're gonna end up with at the end of the day because we deal with the same customers and we've been doing it for 23 years.
Oh, interesting. How do you guys identify the routes that you're gonna go to?
The way you identify routes, we select any kind of business that has 30 employees or more. We do a lot of car auctions, we do some schools, some swim meets, some baseball games, some special events. So we do a little bit of everything.
So I know we're at your wife's truck here. Talk to us about the route that we're gonna go see today.
Okay, my wife, she does 2 car auctions and then she fills it in with some dealerships. And the reason we do dealerships because they're right next to each other so we don't waste no time. Yeah. So at the car auction, we normally have 1,500 people in line buying drinks. We also have a phone app from OrderUp that we use so people could place their orders as well. So we try to expedite everything in time basis. So today we'll be at the car auction from 9 to 12. And then we're gonna go to the next auction from 1 to 3. And then she fills it in with a warehouse, a parts warehouse from Ford. And she has some dealerships and she'll have a very good day today.
Yeah, so enough about like how you guys do this. Let's actually have the window and order something.
Oh, let's go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's head over here. Let me give it a sip. What did I get? I got the sugar-free.
You got sugar-free latte.
And that is very, very good. Thank you so much. People might be wondering, what do you typically sell in a day, drinks-wise?
Okay, well, we get here at 9 o'clock in the morning and we leave at 12. During that duration of 3 hours, we sell typically between 75 drinks to 100 drinks. And as far as money goes, that will average between $500 to $1,000.
Just at this location?
Oh, absolutely.
Would love to hear like what got you into this business.
Well, be quite honest with you, my wife, against my will. So that being said, I want to believe I'm the first one in the United States that made a mobile drink unit. I was a general sales manager and I live in Houston.
Yeah.
But they offered me a position as a general sales manager at Bus Post Motors in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
So the game plan is I was going to have my 4 children and my wife come join me in Arlington because I had a promotion. 2 weeks later, unfortunately, my mom had a brain aneurysm and my wife and my 4 children had to stay behind taking care of my mother. On the weekends, I come visit my 4 children and my wife and she took me to Chinatown and she took me to this place where they sell bubble tea with tapioca. And then she got all excited. I said, yeah, the drink is pretty good. But, you know, what are you trying to get at, Martha? And she said, well, I like to have a business just like this. I said, I'm not going to do a brick and mortar store because you have employees, you have headaches. I don't want to go through all that. And 2 weeks later, since I used to own an automobile conversion shop, I told her, I said, what if I make it mobile? So I developed one. It took me about a year to build it out. Once I build it out, she starts working. Then at the first, second, third day, I see the money that Martha was bringing in. I said, you know what? This is a business. And then I went head in first and I quit my job and I just lived off of mobile smoothie vans.
I want to talk to the audience that they may be on the fence about leaving their jobs, but they're like, you know what? I'm making money. I don't want to take that leap of faith. What advice would you have for them?
All my life, I've been an entrepreneur. I've been a business person. So you can't be scared. There's a saying that in the car industry, a scared man never wins. Do I work for somebody else and fulfill their dream?
Yeah.
Or do I work for my dream? My biggest fear was in the car industry, I asked myself a simple question. If I was to die, how much money would the dealership pay my family for they could provide for them when I'm gone? And the answer was 0.
Interesting.
And I turned around and said, if I build a business, God forbid something was to happen to me, I have a safety net for my 4 children and my wife.
Awesome. Let's kind of rewind the clock here. Like, what did revenue look like in that first month, first year?
As far as sales goes, the first 2-3 days we were doing like $600, but then we had some days that we did $1,200. I can't remember 23 years back, but if I was to guess, we were doing like $140,000 in gross sales in 2002.
For everyone viewing, so the average profit margin according to Google with First Food Trucks is 6.2%. Can you guys guess what Smart Drink's profit margins are? Comment below. Is it A, 25%, B, 52%, C, 72%, or D, 83%? Let us know down below. Okay, enough at this auto auction. Let's head to our next auto auction. I'm excited to get in like this van, the Smart Drinks van, and head over there. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'll let you hop in the front seat. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Awesome, Charles. Take us through your startup costs. How much did it cost to get started? What were some of your biggest expenses?
Well, you gotta understand, when I first started, I had to purchase a van, a cargo van, and then I had to buy equipment, and then I had to build it out, so I had laborers. And I say approximately, in 2002, I spent probably about $85,000.
$85,000 for your new franchisees. How much does it cost to get started for them?
So you have to buy a brand new Mercedes cargo van, 3500 series, and they normally range about $60,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now the build out is a little bit more expensive. The build out is $86,900 currently, okay? And the reason it's so expensive because we buy first class equipment, a $20,000 espresso machine, a $15,000 generator that you have to purchase, and we use owning. In addition to that, we have 2 AC units. We have a $3,000 drive-through window. We have computerized blenders, so it gets expensive.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd love to hear, like, do you come from money, or how did you fund such a large project?
Well, I didn't come from money. Every dollar I made, I had to work for it. I was in the automobile industry, and I did it for 18 years, by the way. I didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I was making good money, so I funded everything with my money. And I did use some of my credit cards, to be quite honest with you. And that's how I got started.
Advice for people that need a large amount of money to get started with any sort of general business, like what advice would you have for when it comes to savings?
The good thing is I've been doing this for 23 years and I have run into different obstacles. So we have different finance sources. So my company, Smart Drinks, we're a registered SBA lender. So if you were to go to your bank and you wanted a loan for a franchise to start out your business, the first thing the bank is going to ask you is, hey, which company are you trying to do a franchise? And if you say Smart Drinks, they pull it up in the computer and say, oh yeah, it's not going to be a problem because they're SBA registry. Okay, now I also made arrangements with Mercedes Finance. They will finance 100% of the vehicle plus tax, title, license. In addition to that, they will finance 50% of the build out.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And the third option is you get me very close. And my company also, since we believe in the concept and we've been proving it for 23 years, if you get close enough, my business will personally finance you the remaining balance. So we have different options. So everybody should have an opportunity to do this business.
If you ask Charles and Martha the secret to making a perfect smoothie, they'll be the first to tell you it's about adding the right ingredients at the right time. Running a business is no different. Success hinges upon your ability to find the perfect blend of timing and strategy. Because one thing is certain, guessing your way through things like inventory, costs, and operations, that's a recipe for disaster. That's why over 41,000 businesses have turned to NetSuite by Oracle. It's the all-in-one financial system that blends your operations into a smooth, seamless process. No more bookkeeping bumps or bitter surprises. Just clear, data-driven insights to fuel your success. With real-time financial tracking, inventory management, and automated processes, NetSuite ensures that the right decisions happen at the right time. So if I were looking for the fastest way to start and grow my business, NetSuite by Oracle would be my first move. And the cherry on top, NetSuite is offering a free download of the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning. Just head to netsuite.com/upflip to learn more. That's netsuite.com/upflip to learn more. For those that don't have a lot of money laying around, like what's the bare minimum they need to get started?
Brian, you need to understand there's different elements. One of it is credit score.
So if
you have a real high credit score, well, it's going to be easier for you to get more money.
Yeah.
If you have a very low credit score, you're going to need more money because you're a higher risk factor for the lenders. But like I said, I had 3 different sources. As far as money goes, a low end, you need at least $20,000.
Oh, interesting. What's the most this truck has ever made at one location?
We did a hospital that the hospital paid for all their employees. We did it in 4 hours and we sold $4,500 and they tipped us around $600. So we ended up a little bit north of $5,000.
In basically 4 hours.
4 hours.
That is awesome.
And we have an event menu, so we have a summary to minimize the options. So that's how we were able to expedite so many drinks.
If hearing Charles' story is inspiring you to start your own smart drinks location, Charles is giving us away a special link to UpFlip viewers, which you guys can find in the description below, and we're gonna talk about it more in the episode coming up. Awesome. So we swapped you guys out. Martha's coming through the gate here. Before she comes here, I would love to ask, like, what are some of your most popular smoothies?
That's a trick question. The reason I say that because American people, the most common one is strawberry banana. If you ask a Hispanic person, they're gonna prefer mango peach. My favorite one is tropical.
Interesting. How do you guys like design the menu and like the flavors on there?
Now this is gonna sound funny, but when my children were small, they used to bring all their friends over to the house and my wife experimented different recipes.
Interesting.
With the children. So if it was a hit with the children, she knew that was something that we put on our menu.
For your guys' menu, I know a few restaurants that we've interviewed in the past, they had like seasonal drinks, they'll swap stuff out. Is that something that you guys do?
Absolutely, we also have seasonal drinks. It's actually a Hispanic drink. It's called mangonada, has tamarindo, mango, and chamoy, and a little bit of tajin in it. And we sell a lot of it in our season. It's one of our favorites.
Perfect, thank you so much, thank you. This looks so good. I got a vanilla, banana, cinnamon, and protein.
You want me to do quality control check for you?
I can tell you from my own quality control that is very, very good.
Okay.
I gotta ask, like, what's your revenue today? What are your margins and how do they compare to the industry?
So I can tell you gross profit. I can't tell you net profit because there's a lot of elements and factors. But my gross profit is about 80% on the drink. And the reason for it, you know, that just includes the cup, the lid, the straw, and the ingredients inside it. It doesn't include labor or insurance or anything else expensive. But that drink, it has protein and everything. That drink normally sells for $9.50.
Wow, and this is like a 32. This is like the biggest one. How does that compare in the industry to other food trucks, mobile trucks out there?
Well, you gotta understand, I can't really tell you on the industry, but I know that normal business, you gotta make 33 and a half to be in business. And we do more than that.
Awesome, let's dive into our fan blitz questions. So we got 7 questions here, real snappy. Charles, you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Number 1, what's one thing about running a mobile beverage business that would surprise most people?
How quick you can expedite a drink. I mean, it's all natural. We expedite, we have a system to do it fast.
Nice, I like it. What's the most drinks you've ever made in 1 hour?
Between 175 to 200 drinks.
What's the best advice you've ever received in business?
Be consistent.
Ah, that's great. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned the hard way?
Sometimes you gotta be open to changes because changes are good.
Nice. What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
Just spend time with the family at home.
What's the most memorable customer interaction?
Well, we've done a lot of charitable events. There was a little girl named Raylan, Save Raylan, and we gathered up to $20,000 to help her out.
Awesome, and that's our fan blitz. Awesome, so hold up this cup for everyone to see here. So we got, what do we got? We got pineapple,
strawberries, peach, papaya, mango.
So for like this fruit in general, like all your guys' ingredients, you guys like actually go to the grocery store to like get this, or like where are you guys getting this stuff from?
The only thing we get at the grocery store is bananas and papaya, okay?
Yeah.
But all the fruits, you know, we have 30 different vendors that we give you a vendor list when you become a franchise. We tell you exactly where to go buy it. It comes packaged up where you don't have to prepare yourself. It take 2-3 hours to clean strawberries or cut the pineapple or anything like that. And we use name brands. We don't use generic stuff. Like our pineapple is Dole. Our peaches are Del Monte. So we use quality products.
I'd love to hear like what are your biggest overhead expenses and what are some reoccurring payments that franchisees should be aware of?
If you're owner operated, then you don't have no employees.
Yeah.
And this van is designed to work with 1 employee.
Yeah.
Unless you have a very big event, then you can use 2 people, 1 to take the orders, 1 to make the drink. So I would say the product itself, you know, buying a bag of strawberries, a bag of mango, or so on, but that'd be the biggest overhead.
Awesome. So operation manuals are like so important when you're looking to like build, franchise, systemize stuff. You guys spent over $20,000 designing yours. Can you reveal some secrets that's in there?
Absolutely, as soon as you sign the franchise agreement.
Yeah, fair.
No, here, let me be quite honest with you. Our operation manual is actually the heart of our business. It's a Bible.
Yeah.
So God forbid something wants to happen to me or one of my staff, you have a go-to book. We teach people how to peel banana. And now people have, I know how to peel banana. Well, can you peel 4 bananas at one time?
Yeah.
Well, we can, by the way. So a box of bananas that takes you 15, 20 minutes to peel, it takes me 5 minutes. So we share all that in the operation manual. We teach you how to store your fruit, where it doesn't go bad and you don't have no waste. We show you how to, even your milk, how to store it. I mean, it sounds like, well, Charles, is it rocket scientist? Well, it's not rocket scientist, but it does take some research.
How long did it take you guys to build out this operations manual?
Honestly, it took me about 6 years.
Wow.
And we revise it every year.
Awesome. So you've been doing this for 23 years now, which is like so amazing. I'd love to hear like any advice for those new entrepreneurs that want to get in the food and mobile drink business.
Well, it's just like everything. You have to start now. If you procrastinate, it's going to take you longer to get where you want to be.
Perfect. Are there any incentives for people to get started with smart drinks?
Absolutely. We do have discounts for first responders and military people. They got 10% from the franchise fee.
So you guys have an app here that I think is like really cool. I mean, talk to us, like how many of your orders are coming through this app?
So we get about 15 to 20% at any given time. So we get the orders in. The people that developed this app is called Order Up. They did a great job. They support us, and it's very inexpensive, by the way. And that's how we support. That's how we support it. You place the drinks, you get points, and you get bonuses and coupons and so on. And you also find the location of the vans through our app.
Awesome. So if I was to Google you, I would come up on you guys. You guys would have over 100 reviews, 4.8 stars. How do you guys deliver customer service like that? And what are SOPs you have implemented to reduce that customer satisfaction?
Well, obviously you got to pay attention to the detail.
Yeah.
And we use natural fruit, so how can you go wrong by not making a quality product? And you gotta be friendly with people, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for our customers, we wouldn't be in business.
Interesting. Are there any specific SOPs you guys have? I hear like be friendly, of course, like have great products, but anything to like go the extra mile?
Well, we always care about our customer because that's our livelihood. We deliver drinks if we need to, we find out if they're diabetic or lactose on, so, we care about people.
Oh, awesome. Let's hop behind the counter, drive over to the car dealership, and let's serve some customers.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Awesome. Charles, tell us where we're at right now.
We're at Mike Cover Toyota, and we've been coming here for 23 years.
Awesome. I wanted to talk specifically to the Mercedes van here. Like, what makes this ideal unit? What are the specific benefits of it?
Well, anybody knows me, I like first class.
Yeah.
And I like quality. This is a 3500 Mercedes Sprinter van, and there's a lot of equipment. There's a generator that weighs 880 pounds. There's an espresso machine weighs 200 pounds, and all the equipment and the waste. So we have about 4,000 pounds, and the suspension is designed to withhold the weight of this equipment.
Yeah. Are you thinking about starting a business but don't know where to begin? Our 60-second quiz is the perfect first step. It matches you to your goals and lifestyles and then gives you a 10-day business model plan to help you get started. Click the link in the description, take the quiz, and see how you can get started with a business in less than 10 days. Awesome. Let's talk about branding and specifically like this wrap. If someone's watching right now, what are some design secrets they may not realize at first glance, and what's advice you have for entrepreneurs watching?
Okay, well, this is simple.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to visualize the drink. In our image, we have bananas and mango splashing out, so
everything.
You salivate. Once you salivate, you desire, you want. A lot of times people, they say, let me have the purple one. They don't even know what flavor it is.
It just looks good. So looking back on almost 2 decades of experience, do you have any regrets? Anything you wish you would have done differently?
Well, you're not supposed to have regrets, but the reality is, I wish I would start a little quicker, because I would have been farther ahead with my franchise. But I'm very happy. Like I said, everything's been good for me.
Yeah. Biggest lesson you've learned through entrepreneurship?
Well, you got to deal with people. You got to be very selective on your verbiage. You got to be genuine, because if you're not genuine, then get out of the business. If you don't like people, you need to do something different with your life.
So you have been an entrepreneur for 2 decades now. What's your advice to the younger generation when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Well, you got to be a visionary, and you can't be scared of going forward and try it, because you know what? Success doesn't happen every single time. There's a lot of failure before you become successful. Just go forward and go with your instinct.
For you, like looking back, was it something like right out of the gates you felt comfortable doing, or is it something that you've had to like learn?
Well, the truth of the matter is, it's never been comfortable for me.
That's fair.
But that being said, you know, I can't get intimidated and live in a restricted life.
What's the biggest misconception people have about owning a franchise business?
Well, you know, you still have to work, regardless of what you do. The only benefit of having a franchise, you get to work when you want to. You get to schedule your own hours. As a matter of fact, you can do vacation. If you had a brick and mortar store, you know, you still have to have somebody run your business while you're on vacation. When me and my wife, we go on vacation, we park the van. When we get back, we haven't lost no customers because we're a conveniency to the customers. We go to their locations.
What's the pros and cons of being able to set your own hours? I'm sure there's cons, but there are definitely pros with that.
Truthfully, there's no cons.
Okay.
I call the shots. I don't have to ask for permission or forgiveness. If I get tired, I can quit early and I'll be okay. Obviously, I don't get paid when I'm not working, but you know, I have choices.
Awesome. So looking at your reviews from your franchisees, people that are actually working with you, you guys have a ton of 5-star reviews, which is awesome to see. What do you think sets Smart Drinks apart from other franchises?
Well, I'm into perfection. Whatever I do, I want it to be bigger and better than everybody else.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, that's why we use natural fruits. We use a fully automatic espresso machine because we want consistency. We want the product to be better than everybody else's. And if we ever have an issue, we always address the issue because we don't wait for things to go away, we address them. So we grab the bull by the horns.
So let's just say these things are out and about, they're done for the day. What's that end of day routine look like for the trucks?
You ready?
I'm ready.
This is the secret right here.
What is it?
This is called shore power.
Okay.
So let me tell you what that does. I have a refrigerator, prep table in there where all the fruits and all the milk and everything that needs to be refrigerated. So all I do, I plug in the plug right here and I don't have to run the generator and everything is refrigerated. And then obviously you do a little bit of cleaning and you're done.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Is there, what's like the cleaning process look like? Like wiping out the blenders?
Well, during the day when you're making drinks, if you're cleaning during drinks, there's very little cleanup at the end of the day. Now, if you don't clean during things, then you might dedicate an extra 10, 15 minutes cleaning up. You gotta understand, we're not dealing with grease here. So grease is very hard to clean.
For sure.
You know, we're just dealing with milk and fruit. So it's easy, a little bit of bleach, you're done.
So you've been in this industry now for 2 decades. Looking back, what would you tell younger Charles about Smart Drinks?
Be quite honest with you, that's a no-brainer to me. You know, I would have started a lot earlier because I would have been a lot more successful than I am right now. And instead of having so many vehicles, I might have twice as much. And obviously, like I said, I would be working for my dream instead of somebody else's dream.
If you enjoyed this episode, you're gonna wanna check out episode 172, where we talk with 2 students who turned a recipe from the internet into a 6-figure food truck. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.